But do we?
We've got a case of the Bora Bora blues.
How can it be hip to dislike this world-famous and undeniably beautiful island? If diving in is too much for you, then at least just hang out for a while. We'll take you through the pros and cons of cruising Bora Bora and show you why Megan keeps talking about Bora Bora blues.
Loving these Bora Bora blues.
And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button.
What do you see, Captain?
Got a lot more sunshiny days to see than we have overcast.
That's a bit of an overcast one today.
So it's like 20 miles to Bora Bora. If it stays like this, I'm not going to get the sails up at all. I'm just going to motor over. Experience. We're arriving with one of their little launch boats, and so areas like this that would otherwise be sleepy are not sleepy at the moment. And so they can get that out even when the seas are rough and not get wet. Got your jet ski tours, your four-wheel drive tours, everybody's got their signs up. Bora Bora is an interesting island, incredibly beautiful, lots of visitors, most of which stay either in resorts or cruise ships, both of which serve them most of their meals. So the main strip of town has fewer bars and restaurants than some other tourist destinations, which is more than made up for with the Black Pearl shops. The water is a kaleidoscope of blues and features a variety of wildlife, making it easy to see why this is a bucket list destination for so many.
I leave what's left of last night behind, and I need to get some peace of mind. And when I need some peace of mind, I know where to find it. Is by the end of the road. Keep on walking, though the shoes I wear are a mess. As I walk, and I keep on walking, till I'm at the end of the road.
Check the impellers every time.
So where are we going? Well, we're gonna go to the south side of Bora Bora, and it's gonna be a little tricky to get there. Heard some horror stories about this track, Don't follow Navionics, whatever you do, warning, warning. It would certainly be nice to have really clear skies so the viz is good, so we can spot all those nasty bommies. Oh look, Nate is doing my job for me. I'm too busy chatting with all of you.
Such are the lack of forces involved. Normally I need to be motoring forward to counteract the wind in order to pick up or release a mooring. But in dead calm, it becomes a one-person job.
It was a really easy mooring ball to pick up, but the little loop is really tight.
It's always that easy. She just complains. She wants to make her job sound hard.
How could it possibly be hard when I have you as my team member?
All right, I'm gonna start, driving the boat. You wanna put the other thing up?
I'll put that other thing up. Well versed in the linguistics of sailing. You're on Scout. The thing is coming up. Are you excited for this?
It's almost a circumnavigation. We're going 270 degrees around. No. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's nice to get out, and I like that the winds are down, but bebopping around shallow areas is not my favorite.
Tight, shallow, bomby infested areas, to be exact. Ooh. It is shallow here.
The trip around to the southern anchorage wasn't too tricky, and it was really neat getting to see Mount Pahia from all angles as we motored around the island.
Still going? Well, that was something. We're motoring along here and going south in Bora Bora, going right next to what I believe is the Intercontinental Villas, overwater villas, which are gorgeous. And we are in a tricky little area here where it gets really shallow and very narrow. So we're needling our way through next to these villas and avoiding shallow reef, bommy field, between us and the main island of Bora Bora, and up comes a motor vessel, which happened to be the Bora Bora mooring services. They are super great, really attentive and awesome, but they wanted to take a credit card for payment for our time in the south mooring field here while we were underway. So they just rafted up to us and did all the paperwork, took the credit card, and poor captain's just like trying not to crash into anything. Never had an experience like that before. Pretty crazy, but it all went smoothly. They got what they needed, we got what we needed, and we're continuing on our way. Never had to stop. I guess that's pretty cool. Not a little hairy. But hey, who can complain when you're in a place like this? Well, we made it safely to the southern anchorage, and now it's time to get in the water and play. It is beautiful here. I think I say that about every anchorage I would go to, but it really is. We're on a mooring ball, so why the heck do we have our mainsail up? Let's ask the captain. What you doing, honey?
Had a handful of things actually to do here. So one, the biggest one, I just swapped out the cars and I wanted to see it up. The other cars are doing, I had two battens, the bottom two battens were out.
Okay.
For one reason or another for a long time. And I've Successfully put those back in. And then the lazy jacks have gotten untensioned. And
that one doesn't look so good.
time to mess with the lazy jack tension the whole weight of the sail leaning on it.
Right.
So yeah, just
It's working.
just doing an inspection. Bora Bora is amazingly beautiful, but is not on the itinerary for a number of cruising boats. In fact, there's a segment of the cruising world who minimizes their time in the Society Islands as a whole.
They talk about the blues of the Bora Bora Lagoon, and they don't underestimate. It really is gorgeous. I probably shouldn't say this, but the biggest disappointment to me since we've been here has been the really high number of tourists. And of course, I know, shame on me, I should have known that and been expecting it. And hey, you know what? I mean, they're out here. It's so great that they're out here seeing the world, adventuring and doing it. But loud party boats at night in these beautiful tranquil anchorages, and people hand feeding sharks and rays and just swarming coral reefs with all their sunscreens and stuff. It just makes me a little sad. But Bora Bora is incredibly beautiful, and we are glad to be here. Bora Bora is also actually really expensive. It's the first place that we've been, I won't say ever, but in a very long time, where we've had to pay for moorings, and it's $40 a night here. So that adds up pretty quickly on a cruiser's budget. Obviously it's pennies compared to what people are paying to stay in these gorgeous resorts here. But I am loving the colors here. It's really beautiful. Boat life isn't always magnificent, but sometimes it just is. Even when you're doing the laundry.
Yep. Gotta get it done.
From not hiking
They're still not hiking.
to still not hiking, we've overshot straight from sidewalk to bushwhacking.
Which I'm not sure is technically what we're supposed to be doing. But
It's a trail.
what?
I said this is a trail.
Not a tree.
Look.
Okay, now this is cool.
All right. That way you think? Or that way? I think that way.
Warning, end is not tied on to anything.
So you can just go flying off the end?
I'm not worried about me, I'm worried about you.
And here we are, never a doubt.
I was very doubtful, especially at the end.
A little difficult finding our way off the mountain. But we did it.
checking out.
For the first time in 4 months,
We're officially checked out of another country.
yeah, it's been a long time between checkouts. One big voyage and one long visit in French Polynesia, but
I'm a little bit sad, I gotta admit. One more shopping trip and a little time to grab some patisserie.
so what do you think you have there?
I think I've got passion fruit on the top, whipped cream right here, whipped cream in the middle, and then like maybe banana on the bottom with a delicious crust.
So for the record, Kieran and I went to a grocery store and then another grocery store to get a stamp, 2 lure shops, the post office, and a 3rd grocery store to get the bulk foods. Everything we bought from the Bora trading was on promotion. All in the time that it has taken the girls to go to one grocery store that is on the way. They're shoppers, we are not. Kieran and I may be fast shoppers, but we discovered something on the dinghy ride back to Scout. Everything we'd purchased in the bulk food store was 3 to 12 months past its expiration date. So when something doesn't sell at Costco or at Sam's Club back in the States, I guess it gets shipped out to remote places like Bora Bora. Then when it gets really, really old, even the bulk store there puts it on discount. And then Kieran and I come along and buy it without a second glance. There's a lesson here, but I don't know what it is. So are the cruisers who turn their nose up at Bora Bora justified? That's not for me to say. Cruisers tend to chafe at rules and restrictions like having to use a mooring ball, which it must be said aren't always properly maintained. On the other hand, cruisers like to think of themselves as in a different category than airplane or cruise ship tourists, as we touched on a couple of episodes ago. As a whole, we tread pretty lightly on the world around us, but we still have an impact, and are ultimately visitors in someone else's backyard. What I can say is that I'm happy we spent the time we did in the Society Islands, and as always, I look forward to what the horizon brings next.